Now then, people, good evening. Is it 5:30? Yeah, it's good evening, isn't it? Welcome back to the Just Joe Football Show. It's here for another opposition preview with my good friend Sam from Back of the Net, Bournemouth Fan Channel. I've known Sam a while. Obviously, we used to do the 12th man. We spent the day in London together as well, didn't we, not too long ago? So
We did.
Yeah, it was. It was good. Sam, how are you doing? Good?
Very well, mate. Not too bad. Very well. Looking forward to this weekend.
Yeah. It's do you know what? I said this on a show earlier on, right?
Yeah.
I remember being on 12 man with you, and you said about Gary O'Neill not doing a good enough job for where Bournemouth's squad was and where the team was. And I remember disagreeing with you at the time, and I'm like, I don't get it. But I said, like, I did a show this morning, a press conference reaction. You were right. And I think now, low-key Bournemouth are coming everyone's sort of like second team that they enjoy watching. They're a good side. They're playing good football, got some top players. So you must be over the moon with where, the trajectory you've been on, Sam.
Oh, yeah. Really, really pleased with where we're at. I mean, Gary O'Neill, he did great for us in terms of getting us over the line because we were staving off relegation that season. But there was a ceiling to what he could achieve. Fans felt it. The outside media didn't agree because he's a young English manager who they obviously wanted to do well in the game. Fair enough. That's what they thought. But we got rid of him. Gary Lineker was calling it ludicrous, Richard Keys scandalous, all that kind of stuff. But we've got this guy in that has completely elevated us, and he's got us playing a different brand of football, a different style, and now we're thriving because of it. Had it gone the other way, of course, the media would have been up in arms still about it. But no, I mean, Bournemouth fans could sort of even see it at the time. He got us over the line. We're thankful for Gary, but under Andoni, we're a different beast now, and all things are going in the right direction. So yeah, we're well pleased.
Yeah, it's good to see, mate. It's refreshing to see. And just on Adoni, because obviously Leeds United tried to get him well, you got him in the off season, obviously, but we tried to get him in our relegation battle, and he wasn't willing to force a move at the time, and he made the right decision based on what happened with Leeds that season. But just talk to me about him, because Leeds fans, he has a relationship with Marcelo because he worked under him. Bilbao. So obviously, he's clearly got similar methods, right, from Bielsa. But just him, the man, the coach. Where do you expect he'll go as well? Because there's obviously, as you'll know, Glasner and him. Whenever I'm on short, it's all about Glasner or Iraola. Who makes that next step up?
Yeah, I mean, like you say, he's a disciple of Bielsa, plays in a very similar style, organised chaos at times. It sometimes feels a bit reckless, but it's stuff that really gets you off your seat. One of the things about him is that he always honours his contract. So when Leeds came in, it was probably a bit too early for him when he was at Vallecano. He was always going to stay until the end of the season. And that is when we pounced. And thankfully, we did it at the right time. What he's done for us, I mean, it was a slow start under him because there were players that were playing a very conservative, pragmatic style under O'Neill. It took a while to bed in, but as soon as he got it ticking, oh my God, we were absolutely superb. And he's just a manager that plays football how fans want it to be played. It's just so exciting, really exhilarating. Such a good coach. He's managed to change players' positions in some circumstances, put them in different areas of the pitch, and they're absolutely thriving. Really exciting to watch, playing on the front foot, loves width. So our fullbacks always get up the pitch, progressive stuff. It's sometimes fast counter-attacking. We vary it up with long balls every so often. It's just so interesting to watch. But what he's done, he's just instilled a confidence in every single Bournemouth player to be able to do what he wants them to do. And we've really reaped the rewards of it. And in terms of what we can achieve, I mean, he's sort of breaking records season on season, really. I mean, his first season, he managed to beat our own Premier League points tally. Next season, he's done that again. And we were flirting with Europe for much of the season as well. And the caliber of the man is just going up and up, not least given the changes that we've had in terms of our defence, losing 4 out of 5 of our back line. Most Bournemouth fans were thinking, last season was our chance for Europe. We're not going to do it again. He's managed to somehow get us playing straight away with a brand new defence, and we're looking up rather than over our shoulder again. So I can't speak highly enough of him, but he only ever has short-termish contracts at clubs. So there is a fear that
Bielsa
he
used
might
to
go.
do, That's
Exactly.
what Bielsa used to do. So,
and so there is a fear that at the end of the season he might go. I mean, last season it was in the kind of April time, or even before that, he recommitted to the club for another year. But we haven't seen anything yet, and season now, so slightly concerning. But we hopefully can keep him for another year or two, because still got a lot to do with Bournemouth. I sense he likes smaller clubs because he likes a project. He's quite on. And I think he wants to take us over the line into Europe, which is mad. A small club having those conversations is mental, but that's where we're at now. And it was key to all of that.
Yeah, it's mad because just hearing you say them things, Bielsa was exactly the same. We'd be waiting on an age, like, is he going to sign it? Is it going to happen? And even though, we were all confident, really, it still wasn't there on the dotted line, So, and just the small projects thing as well, that's something Marcelo. So he's clearly taken a lot from him. You did mention there losing that big defense, Huijsen, Zabrani and Kirkes, and the goalkeeper as well. So even I, as an outsider Bournemouth, thought, they're surely going to drop down a bit. I didn't think you'd be in any sort of battle relegation wise, but I did think there'd be a drop off. But like you say, I mean, that true fair I've watched. And if you look at Kirkes' performance, you go, tell you what, Bournemouth have had a right touch there. But what have you made to the replacements, and how has he sort of like made that click so quick?
Oh yeah, I mean, Truffert is absolutely superb. I mean, we feel like he's an upgrade on Kirkes. He's like Kirkes without the Asbo, because like he's honestly such a good player, so mature, and he's taken to that left back position like a duck to water. And I mean, losing the players that we have means that there's such an onus on getting the recruitment just right. I mean, and in many ways, though, I mean, you've had, Kirkes going to Liverpool, Zabani to PSG, Howson to Real Madrid. Kepa, I know he was only on loan, but he's at Arsenal. That's the best advert for playing for Bournemouth that you can possibly have, that you can play for him for a season or two. And then after a while, you can move on to your ideal, European destination or a bigger club in the Premier League. We're a gateway to further in their careers. And they know that they're going to get, time, that they're going to get minutes at Bournemouth. They're not going to be sitting on the bench. And we are so fortunate, but the recruitment has to stay good. And at the moment, thankfully, it is. We're managing to pluck these lads out of kind of, European teams I've never heard of, no disrespect, but and we're making them good. And, they're going on to, further themselves. That's down to recruitment, and that's down to Andoni. But the signings that we've got in so far have been absolutely superb. They managed to hit the ground running. That's Andoni Iraola. That's what he does. So, we are very lucky to have him. And it's a concern that there's a little bit of doubt over where his future lies next season. But, he's absolutely key for us massively.
Yeah, I think you bang on that. I mean, if you can show, because I think from a Leeds United's perspective, I know from a recruitment drive, they still show what happened with Rafinha. He came to Leeds. He had a season with us in the Premier League, or two, and now he's at Barcelona. So you are right. And if you can show that you can be a success at our football club and move them on, I think it's for our clubs that are trying to get further and further up the table, it's the best way to go. And there has to be a realization. And I think you have that as well, Sam, as a fan, to be honest, that sometimes your club will be used as a stepping stone, right?
Yeah. Oh, 100%. I mean, look, players are not joining Bournemouth to stay forever. I would love that to be the case, but they're not. And basically, it's an easy entry to the Premier League, and it is the lure of the Premier League at times. It's, I'm sure we'll mention Tyler Adams. Certain moves are because we're a Premier League team. They are fully aware that they're playing in front of 11,000 people every other week. It's not a glamour move for them, but ultimately it could be, in the long run, an ideal move for them. So we're very lucky to be in the position we are. And people also have seen what he's done to certain players and the way that we play, and they think, you know what, I'd quite like a bit of that. So to have him has been absolutely superb. But I think just the size of our club dictates that we will be a stepping stone. But hopefully in the background, with the money that we make from transfers, etc. I mean, certain players we're buying for cheap and then we're flogging on for big money. We can have a tangible legacy from the Premier League. And that's what slowly we're getting. The stadium's being redone at last. We've got a brand new training centre that's, one of the best in the Premier League at the moment. It's absolutely superb. So we're in a really good place where it really feels like we're moving forward.
And so is that all down to the owner then? Or is it just one single? I know he's American, right? Is it just one single guy, or is it a conglomerate? Or
Yeah, I mean, it's spearheaded by Bill Foley, who's got a
Mm.
hand in the Las Vegas Golden Knights ice hockey team, and he comes out with these outlandish, statements and remarks and dreams about what he wants for his different teams. He said that the Las Vegas Golden Knights would win the Stanley Cup within his first few years. They won it in 1 or 2, things like that. He said I want Bournemouth playing European football in 5 years. We flirted with it last season, which was his second season, but it's not
You're
only
on the road with it though, aren't you? If we're being honest,
we're on the road. It was him that sort of helped to make the call of replacing O'Neill for Andoni, but it isn't just that. Michael B. Jordan is in the background as well, doing bits of, I don't know what he does, but he's part of the consortium, so to speak, as well. So yeah, there's a really good experience team, and what we are now doing is what many clubs are going, is this multi-club model sort of thing. So we've got various different clubs: Hibs in Scotland, Lorient in France. We just picked up a Croatian side, one in New Zealand. And we're the head of that, which is mental. How a Bournemouth, small club, that the peak of a pyramid, what's going on? But it's the Premier League, isn't it?
Yeah. And I just asked you about that because obviously Leeds have got American owners, and we have a few, big names in there from the sporting world and stuff. Obviously the 49ers are the ones that are heading it up. So I think one thing, when they come from American franchise, I think one thing they do behind the scenes, it just seems to work a lot better, I find, anyway, mate. I don't know if that's what you, because look at Liverpool, they're the same, Fenway. I think them groups seem to be doing good jobs at football clubs at the minute.
Yeah, really good business brains. I mean, when you look at just how, whilst the stadium hasn't expanded in size just yet, it will next season. But just the things in and around the ground that they've done, they've improved the kind of match day experience. Everything just feels so much more professional, and they're getting, a lot of more focus even on the women's team. They're plowing money into the development side, the academies and stuff, hence our training ground and stuff. He's a man who sticks to his word. So we are really excited for the future under him. Who knows where it could be, but in terms of owners, we couldn't ask for anyone better at the moment. He doesn't get too involved. He knows he's got his footballing people that will make the decisions for him. He's just there to oversee things. So thankfully he's not getting involved too much. Like I say, he's just overseeing it, and things things are good.
Good. We're going to have to touch on it now because you mentioned him just a second ago, Tyler Adams. Before we do him, though, I just want to get your thoughts on Luis Sinisterra, because that obviously didn't go great, did it? His injuries continued to plague him, and did I see gone to Brazil?
Cruzeiro or somewhere like that, and he scored his first goal from the other day. But I mean, Leeds fans were right about him. He's so injury prone, man, so injury prone, and he scored some big goals for us. And he's a talent. He is definitely a talent, but just couldn't stay fit, long enough, unfortunately for us. But scored some big goals. But ultimately, Leeds fans were right about him.
And Tyler Adams, look, he's despised within the fan base, but as a player, I always rated him. I thought of that window we brought him in, he was one of the success stories. Works tirelessly, battles, wins challenges. He's tenacious. What's been your experience? I know he's going to get a bad reception at Ellen Road, though. That's for sure. Massive.
Yeah, I think when he joined, he had an injury, and he had a couple of injuries, but now he seems to be in a good place with his fitness and stuff. And I'd say he's probably one of the first names on the team sheet at the moment. And I absolutely love him. What's weird about it is, I go and watch a game and I come out and I just think, actually, what did he do? Because I can't really remember him being on the ball too much. Can't remember what he did, but he just tidies things up so nicely. He is tenacious in the tackle, really good at winning the ball back, and just sits in front of that back four. And he's so competitive, and very small, but he's got an engine on him, and Bournemouth fans really, really love him. There was a time where we thought, oh god, are Leeds fans right about him in terms of the fact that he can pick up injuries a lot, sort of thing. But touch wood, for the meantime, he's been really good for us. And him and like Ryan Christie or Alex Scott, if he's playing alongside him, he's formed some really good relationships with him. And I think he's the kind of player that, you know, Iraola absolutely loves. So I can't complain about him. But yeah, I mean, I gather that reception for him on Saturday might not be too pretty. Oh,
yeah, it's gonna be brutal. Lewis Cook, is he about, mate? 'Cause obviously he was at Leeds. Will he be on the bench, or is he injured at the minute?
He should be available. He had a bit of a shoulder injury, but he's another player that, I mean, last season he's more versatile than I've ever thought. Really, I mean,
he's so great, isn't he, man? I loved him when he broke through at Leeds.
Yeah, so good on the ball, lovely to watch on the ball.
Yeah.
He was really what he was basically the same as Tyler Adams, but they're rarely played together because they're quite similar. But last season he proved so invaluable to us because we had injuries to our right back. Adam Smith was out for a long time, and he slotted in a right back for a lot of the part of the season. We was like, we thought we were short of a right back, but this guy is probably our second best, you know, right back at the club. I would probably go to say that now, maybe, like, even though we've got 3 other right backs to pick from. But who knows where he will fit in? I don't think he'll be playing at the weekend. He'll probably be maybe on the bench, maybe a little bit too soon for him, perhaps after his recent injury. Of course, he got suspended on the last game that we had last season against Manchester City, which meant that he missed a couple at the start of this season. But then he had a moment back in our previous game before picking up an injury in training. But I love the lad. Yeah. I absolutely love him. He's such he doesn't have an ego.
No, he's the top pro, isn't he? You don't really hear of him, do you? Yeah.
No, you don't. He clocks in, he clocks out. He does a really good job. I think he likes life on the South Coast. He likes a quiet life. And he's a player that, you know, will go down as an AFC Bournemouth legend because he's been so superb for us. One thing he doesn't do is maybe pop up enough with, you know, goals and stuff, which is probably one of the things that Bournemouth fans want to see from him. But such a tidy player as well.
Yeah, he's great. Yeah, I mean, if he was to be involved, he'd get a good reception. You know what I mean? It was more a case of where we were as a football club at the time that he had to go, obviously. But yeah, he's a great player. Moving on then to just this season, obviously, currently 4th in the league. Only lost once, and that's against probably the champions in Liverpool. Draw recently against Newcastle. What have you made to your start? Obviously, you beat Spurs as well, which took me by surprise, to be honest.
Yeah, the season's I mean, so far it's been very, very good. I mean, I wouldn't say that the sort of Liverpool match is a gauge of. I mean, you can't really gauge anything out of playing the champions on their first.
You even played well in that game, though, didn't you? You know what I mean?
Well, exactly. Yeah, that's the thing. The performance made me feel like really optimistic about how things are going to go this season. Obviously, went 2-0 down, but then, you know, to come back to like 2-2, Antoine Semenyo being a crucial part of that. I'm sure we'll speak about him. And like, ultimately, I think the emotion of the occasion with the, you know, Diogo Jota stuff probably helped the fans be more vocal, because whenever I've been to Anfield before, they're very loud for "You'll Never Walk Alone." But other than that, you never hear anything. You never hear anything. But they were loud on that occasion, and it dragged him over the line. But since then, I mean, weirdly, we sort of prefer playing teams like that, teams like Spurs, teams that want to play football, because we feel as though we've got more of a chance. We played Wolves at home. We struggled against them, but we did beat them 1-0, and we're getting better at beating the low block sides. We beat Brighton, who were very, very good defensively. Like Newcastle game, registered twice the amount of shots as them, and I feel a draw was probably fair. But Eddie Howe, he changed his game plan. He's not a manager that usually he sends his like team out to draw a game, but that's you know, that's what it felt like. Maybe understandable after their Barcelona loss, but yeah, things are really positive. And in playing Leeds, it's so interesting, because if it was the other way around and you were playing at our place, I sense that you might be a little bit more defensive. I mean, I've seen your like average positions over the last 4 games, and it is like fairly defensive. But I think just because you're at home and you'll be encouraged to, you know, win the game, it might bode well for us. But we know that this is going to be a hell of a game, and we need to work bloody hard if we're going to get something. But from what I've seen, I mean, for the matches that we played this season so far, we're up on points with the equivalent games last season. This is going to be a big test on Saturday for sure.
Yeah, we'll touch on that in a sec. Before we do, I know we spoke about this when we were down in London, obviously, about the newly promoted teams and if, you know, Leeds to be relegated, etc. I know you said they wouldn't, but as for you as a Bournemouth fan, not not long time in the Premier League, is it refreshing to see the newly promoted teams come up and actually compete? Because Sunderland and Leeds have had, a decent start. Burnley, a win and a draw, but we've competed well in the five games that we've played so far.
It's so nice to see. It's really refreshing because there's this constant narrative around the Premier League about it being a sort of closed shop, so to speak, and whoever goes up comes down. I mean, us, Fulham and Forest are proof that actually that's not always the case, because we all got promoted in 2022 and we're still here, and each and every one of those teams are thriving. So to see teams like yourself, Sunderland doing so well. I think I said on yours, I came up with one outlandish statement that was awful about like Everton in their new stadium going down in their first season at the Hill Dickinson. Worst prediction ever, but that was without them signing Grealish and stuff. So that's my excuse. But I did say, I think I said like at least 2 out of the 3 teams are going to stay up, and Leeds will. And it's so weird, just by the nature of you being a big side, with a huge fan base. Same with Sunderland. I just feel as though you got more of a chance for some reason. So I'm really pleased to see them thriving, and not least because I think that there is also some complacency in other parts of the Premier League, like your West Hams, like Wolves, etc. And there are other clubs as well that have just been floating around and stuff. But now maybe because the quality of the teams that have come up. I mean, last season's 3 were absolutely terrible. This season, so much better. So as far as I'm concerned, I prefer to see that, because I want the Premier League to be fluid and dynamic and having lots of new teams involved each and every season. And it's nice to see that, a couple of them could well thrive. And I do think you will survive.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. I think I was talking to someone earlier on and making the point of last season, no managers got sacked early doors because they were given a cushion because the newly promoted teams were so poor. But Wolves and West Ham now must be thinking, oh, God, I know it's only early, but we've got another international break in 2 weeks. Do we review it? And that can either boost you or obviously go the other way. So the fact that these talk of Potter going and that, it all looks and says, do you know what? We're doing a good job. We're doing all right. And if it's making other clubs worry, then that's a big thing. You touched on the game at the weekend. I've said and maintained that Leeds will be difficult to beat this season.
Yeah.
And I'm confident at home we can get points against anybody. I don't say that from a case of we're going to win or anything. Like under Bielsa, I was always like, nah, we're going to win. I don't care who it is, But now I understand the Premier League, and I was even saying last week, a point at Wolves won't be too bad. Not everyone agreed anyway. We went and got all 3. But at home, it's not that I expect to win, but I expect us to get something. From your perspective, because we're a newly promoted side, is there a case of, no, we should be going there and getting 3 points because it's Leeds who've just come into the league?
It's weird because if you look at the newly promoted sides, I would look at Burnley and think, right, if we're going there, we need to get a win. At Leeds, and I think quite a lot of sides in the Premier League would be like this. I think let's just get a point and get out, because that's what I'm like. I mean, but I suppose I've got the muscle memory and the like PTSD, if you want to call it that, of the last one where we were 3-1 up and then 3-2, 3-4, 4-3. And I'm not saying it to be obsequious or whatever. Your fans were the loudest that I've ever heard that day. It was like the noise that you made was phenomenal, and scary place to go, man, because that's all it takes. It takes like a crunching tackle. It takes, I mean, like in your circumstance that time, I think you took the lead after a few minutes because you had a penalty, and then you got back into it 3-2 with a cracking strike. I can't remember who it was. Sam.
I just know that it meant Jesse stayed in the job, so it was actually a bad thing in the end for us, Sam. Yeah. When Jesse stayed.
Yeah, Sam Greenwood. That was it.
Yeah, you are right though, because with the crunching tackle stuff, because Ethan Ampadu went through Keenan Dewsbury Hall when we played Everton, and it was met with like loads of and like you say, it's all that it takes to really kick the game in. There's already fans on Twitter saying like Ampadu smashes into Adams and all that sort of stuff. But something like that happens, a little flashpoint, and it can just totally lift.
Yeah, that's all it needs. So it's weird because I can imagine it is quite strange, because usually it would be a case, whilst we're 4th in the Premier League, I think there's this subconscious thing when you play a smaller club, you just think like we should be getting a result against these. And that's what we think against the newly promoted sides when they come up. Certainly last season, all three, we were like, we should be winning all of these. It's not the same this season. Like I say, Leeds, we take a point, we get out. Sunderland, probably the same as well. And you know what? It's funny, you mentioned like Ampadu. We did our preview show earlier today, and that we're going to be putting that out in about an hour or so. But since the start of last season, it's Leeds have won 72% of their league games with Ampadu, compared to only 45% without him, which to me says that, yeah, that's going to be an interesting battle. So him and Tyler Adams, my God, there's going to be fireworks. I mean, there were fireworks last time we went to Ellen Road. This time there will be on the pitch.
I love that. We've got to talk about Semenyo as well, of course. Every Leeds fan will be aware. Those that don't watch Bournemouth regularly or tune in, but they all know about Semenyo. Talk to me about him, and obviously, again, like, sorry to mention it, Sam, but again, like Iraola, it's a case of where's he going next?
Yeah, it's we absolutely love the lad. I mean, he's a really humble footballer. He's had humble beginnings really as well, like Bristol City, and then loan spells at like Bath, Newport, also Sunderland as well. But playing for Bournemouth, they sort of moved him from what he was at Bristol City, like a striker, like a sort of number 10, and now they've put him on the wing, and my God, he harasses whoever he plays against. He's so strong and athletic. He's quick, can play on the left, play on the right. I don't even know what's his most stronger foot. He can, cut in. He'll like run to the byline. You don't know which way he's going to go because he's so strong on, both feet. And for him, he's just such a huge talent for us, and he's in many ways our talisman, and he's the one that gets the numbers. You'd think it would be someone like Evan Nilsson up front, but to be honest, it's Semenyo. He gets the numbers, whether it's assists or like even hitting the back of the net himself. I just absolutely love the guy. One of the things we did do, thankfully, was I think after being relatively burned by the Dean Howson transfer. I mean, look, we signed Howson for 15. We flogged him for 50. That was great, but we only sold him for 50 because that was his release clause. I think that Semenyo had one as well, and it was probably quite low, and they probably learned from that. So he signed another year a deal towards the end of last season, which hopefully has raised that. So another year out of him this season, we'll get a lot better money this time round, hopefully. But he is going to go on to bigger things for sure. And he's always one of these players that, like your Arsenals, your kind of, big six or whatever, they're always going to kind of want a player of that ilk. And he will be such a success wherever he goes. I absolutely love the guy. My favourite player by far. Yeah,
he's top, and he's a fantasy Premier League. He's always one that you look at to get him into your side for sure. Is there anyone from a Leeds United perspective, and you don't have to just say anything because obviously you might not be aware, or Bournemouth are better than Leeds. That's the facts. Is there anyone from our perspective that you're concerned about or want to see more from?
I think Stack in midfield. I think he's just a strong all-round player for you, and free kicks as well. I know he's kind of joint leading scorer at the moment, only with one goal or whatever, but I think he's got an assist as well in one of the games. I think I don't know how much you signed him for. It was about 20 or something. I can't remember.
It was cheap in there. It was about 15, I think. If my mind, it was about 15. Yeah,
he has really impressed me so far. And you've also got players that have just got that little bit of Premier League experience. I wouldn't say like we're necessarily worried, but players like Longstaff, if he can stay fit, players like Calvert-Lewin as well, who knows how to hit the back of the net. I think, there's a really good mix there. And I know that I was kind of speaking to you, and I was having a look at the kind of Leeds United fans on transfer deadline day, and you was thinking, we just need a couple more. And there was a little bit of being underwhelmed. That's what I sensed. It was quite,
definitely.
But with what you've done so far, and, you've had some games that are, not particularly easy. I think, that's a really big thing, but it's the home form, like, more than anything. If you get the results at home, it's absolutely massive, isn't it?
Yeah. To watch, mate, we're not the greatest, like with the free midfield, and the attack's not as potent as I'd like. Like you've mentioned, Okafor scored. Again, need to see more. We've got no one on the right-hand side, really. Aronson's been playing there, and he's known for his work rate as opposed to scoring and assisting. James is back, but I don't think he'll start. But James is always someone, especially in transition, regardless of his pace, like he'll cause any fullback a problem because
100%.
he's that quick. Doesn't matter how good the fullback is, he will always cause a problem because he's that quick. And like you say, Calvert-Lewin, it's all about fitness. But
yeah,
one thing I will say, we are difficult to beat, and with that midfield three, it's workmanlike, it's physical, and it's got experience. I think that's what Leeds United tried to do. We signed a similar age profile. They were all around the age of 26. They all had to have international or top level experience. So they definitely put together a few tick points before they would sign the player. And it's gone down a storm. I mean, the Goodmanson, the left back, he's coming in and been great. So like I say, it's just the final third, really.
Do you sense that being clinical is a problem? Because I was just looking at your stats, like against Everton, 21 shots, 3 on target, score 1-0. Against Newcastle, 10 shots, 1 on target. It's a similar story to us in some ways, which kind of makes me think with two teams that got pretty good defenses, this game seems to be, this is going to be won and lost in midfield by the sounds of it.
Yeah, probably. I think the thing with ours is creating a good enough chance. You could say 21 shots, but I can't remember any. Do you know what I mean? The XG is really low. Yeah. That's why I think scoring 3 goals has made everyone relax a bit, because prior to that, we'd only scored a penalty and we're going, it's 4 games in and we haven't scored 1 open play goal. So to get 3 against Wolves was right, we can score. So now let's just maintain that. And obviously, we've got 2 tough games, yourself and Tottenham before the international break. If we can, if we get 2 points, I think it's a good return. If we get 4, amazing. We can't lose them both. That's the thing. We can't lose them both. As mad as it sounds, I'm probably more confident as playing Tottenham than I am yourselves.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. I don't know how I just know we'll give someone a game. It's hard for me to predict because as a spectacle, they've been pretty poor for us to watch because we sort of stinking it out in terms of not creating much and not having much created against us. So yeah, I just think Iraola might have the special sauce that breaks through, you know?
I just think that like to be where you are at this stage when you're still not really found a rhythm yet. As long as you get that foundation, just get these points here and there at the start of the season. I think that's absolutely huge. Like there are some like teams last season that were struggling to get points for a long, long time. And, by sort of October and November, you can almost say, they're probably going down. Whereas just, getting points on the board, like then, finding your rhythm. And then if you need to reinforce in January, happy days. I don't know. I feel as though, like you say, Leeds are going to be very hard to break down. And, it's up to us to try to do that. I think it's going to be, I don't know if it's going to be really exciting or just, I don't know, like an absorbing game of chess. I just don't know how it's going to be.
Yeah, well, I don't know. I'm not very confident going into it, Sam. I can't lie to you because obviously you are a great side with a great manager, but we will see. As long as we don't get beat or at least perform to a certain standard, that's my main thing. But if we were to take all 3, I'm then going, right, we are here to stay because that's back-to-back wins and we've been away. We played a very good side in Bournemouth. So we'll have to wait and see what Farker comes up with. I think it'll be the same lineup. That was at Wolves away. Well, I don't know how we're going to go about it, mate, to be honest. We do try to possess the football. It's just a case of creating chances when we get into the final third. I know we scored 3 last time, but one was a cross from the right, one's a free kick. So I'm still yet to see on a long period of time us create loads of chances. So, and it'll be difficult to do that against your lot. So we'll wait and see. But before I do let you go, Sam, give us a score prediction for this game.
I knew he was going to ask that. Look, we've got a terrible record at Ellen Road, and I just feel as though at some point it's got to be put right. I look at the last one where it's 4-3. I know completely different circumstances, but that was under Gary O'Neill. And now we're under Iraola and we've got a better squad as well. I'd like to think that we could get something here. I think one of the things that's been so key in all our games so far, an early goal. We've scored early goals in most of our matches this season, like one after 3 minutes, another after 4 minutes, another after 18. Scoring early is massive. And that will help to quieten the fans down as well. So a fast early start is massive for us. I'm going to back us just because if you can't be confident now when you're 4th in the Premier League, what's the point of football like? Yeah. So I'm going for a 2-1 Bournemouth win.
You know what, as well, hearing you say, like, there's been a real maturing because we didn't have the Premier League for so long. When we got up there, I felt we were still Leeds of when we were last there, and we had Bielsa, but now I'm like, no, I get it, man. Like Bournemouth, yeah, there probably will be. Do you know what I mean? There's a real sense of that. For me, 1-0 Leeds.
Why not?
I'm not saying confident. I'm not saying they're confident, but we'll see. But Sam, before you go, I've said that twice now. Do you want to tell people about Back of the Net, the fan channel, and what they can view from a Leeds perspective?
Yeah, so we've got a preview that's going out tonight. It's all about Leeds United. And then we got another sort of Bournemouth-based preview that's out tomorrow. Like, we'll be travelling up, vlogging the game, doing our opinions outside. Hopefully no fireworks going off this time round. And yeah, I'm just hoping that I'm going to see the Leeds players shooting like you do an inflatable dartboard, mate. Because that's but then there is a caveat to that we all know.
Yeah. It's like Harry Potter. We can't speak those who have not been named.
We can't. Well, you know, 2 will pay tomorrow. We can't say anything.
I'm still winning. Anyway, Sam, that's legend, man. Thank you so much for that. Back of the Net, which has been put in the chat by one of the mods. Nice. Yeah, listen. After the weekend, I hope you get Europe, mate. I do hope you get Europe. It'd be quality, and maybe that keeps Iraola for another season if you do. So good luck with that, and great channel as always. Top content, Sam, and I'll see you in a bit, pal.
Top man. Thank you very much.
Cheers, Sam. There we go. That was Sam from Back of the Net, the Bournemouth fan channel. Please make sure you go and check that channel out. He does some great content, and he's a really great guy as well. Interesting thoughts as well. Like, it's mad hearing Sam speak, because I genuinely don't know how to feel about the game. It's like I don't know if I can be confident, because what's happened there? My camera's gone off. Can you still hear me, folks? You can? Oh, I don't know why, but it's lost connection. Give me a second. Let me just reboot OBS. Right, let's see if this is where you can still. Oh, there we go. I don't know what happened there. My phone was having a bit of a mad one. Is it lagging now as well? Oh, this is great, isn't it? Yeah, it's lagging. Let me see if I can close some screens. Oh, what is going on here with OBS? It was having issues on Potsy's stream as well. Am I back here? Don't know why it's doing this. Let me just close some screens. Sorry. Get that closed. Get that closed. Get that closed. Oh, I don't know. It's all going wrong. It is. It's all going wrong at once. Should have just left it when Sam left, didn't I? Bit laggy. Let me just close some stuff. Close that down. Or has it been lagging for loads on YouTube? So it's not just me, because I've closed everything down and it's a wired connection, so it shouldn't be like this. Be them Spurs fans having a meltdown. Oh, George came for me, you know. I did not expect it. Did not expect it, so it took me by surprise. I'll have to make sure I'm prepared for that next time. It was fun, though. It's a little bit of fun. Yeah, listen, folks, it's lagging. I can see it's all over the shop now. So we will leave it there. But what I was going to say, I don't know how I feel about this game in terms of being confident. I genuinely don't have a prediction, as mad as that sounds. Can we beat Bournemouth? Yeah. Can we lose to Bournemouth? Yeah. Could we see a draw? Yeah. Like, that's the mad thing. So I don't know. Let me think on it. Let me do my preview. And yeah, 1-0. Just something tells me it won't be 1-0. I do think Bournemouth will score. So it's whether or not we can score more is my point. I'm not too sure. I think I know we scored 3 and I was having a bit of fun, I think, but still we need to see that over a longer period of time, don't we? We need to see us scoring goals on a longer period of time. So we'll have to wait and see. But listen, as always, thanks for the love. Please make sure you smash a like, subscribe to the channel, get your comments in, hit that notification bell. I'm going to shoot now, get some tea, and have an early night because I'm tired. Thanks as always for watching, folks. And yeah, I will see you in a bit. Peace out. Love for the love.